Guys, can we have another round of applause for Anou Khanijou? Thank you. So Anou, welcome. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit how you started off on your journey, please?
Okay, so we start off with the journey. I am going to give you present day. So present day, I'm the CEO of a corporate apparel business, inclusive of anouconcept. This business does corporate uniforms for the healthcare, school uniforms, and corporate industries. Anouconcept has been a business that's been going on now for 21 years, and this is my new venture. Flashback of some 30 years ago, how did I start my journey? I came to Australia and I ran away from home. I was arranged to be married, and it is, as you see, I'm of Indian heritage and Thai heritage. It's very common practice. I was sent to some very good schools, and when my parents mentioned to me that I was going to be arranged to be married, I went, I'm not sure. You sent me to great schools, I've got a great mind, and I'm not sure I can deal with this. So I then ran away from home and then went and worked at Club Med. At Club Med, I was underage, I was only 16, and I started working with them in their programming division. So I had a really keen interest in coding, and they had small workshops that the French would come to, and they would want to learn some basic programming, because going back that time, there was nothing like this. So that was really fun for them, and for me, it gave me a job and a place to be. I learned so much being at Club Med, because every week there would be 1,000 new people that would come in, they would holiday for a week, and they would go. And I learned very quickly how people behaved, what perked their interest, what they liked to do. And I started to build on that. I then came to Australia after having followed a very nice Australian gentleman that I met there. Much to my mother's absolute disbelief. My father had then passed away, and I sort of then found myself in Australia. Got through immigration, started in the hospitality industry, opened up a Thai restaurant in Brighton just a few months shy of turning 18. Was my first business venture. In 1988, the stock market crashed and the health of the economy was really bad. No one was traveling, and that restaurant became very successful. Now, we can talk about that being lucky, or we can say I took the opportunity, scared as I was. With $49 in my pocket, I went, okay, I paid everything, bought all the equipment, bought everything, got the chef from overseas, migrated him, and went, if this fails, that is the end. So it was a good venture that I started, and from then on went to, as mentioned, into Carousel and the Redhead Nightclub, which were very successful ventures. The hospitality industry taught me really more about people and how they behave and what they like and what they don't like, and being able to remember their names, being able to engage with them, being able to fulfill their needs on a regular basis and in a quick format. You come to a restaurant, you sit down, you're actually coming for a nice meal, you want to be entertained. So that taught me how to actually please and really understand what the customer needed.
I was just going to say, so when you were at the Club Med phase, and did you always believe that you would have your own business? Was it a dream of yours to be self-employed?
At that point, I don't think I had a dream of anything except for just being away from the environment that I was at. But my father was an entrepreneur. He came from no money and sold newspapers and then fabric to the veterans of the Vietnam War. So he would go across the border, he would sell fabric, come back, he would support the family. So he was an entrepreneur, and he grew his business from nothing to something very large. I feel somehow I followed in his footsteps, even though he's not here today.
And was he encouraging of you? So obviously he sent you some nice schools, but was he ever encouraging of to say, right, you can go out and do this yourself?
Not necessarily, because we're actually raised to get married. We're not raised to have a business of our own. So it was a really difficult time. Everything that I learnt, I had to bank into my own mind so I could use that in future. And even when I was young, I didn't know that that's what I was doing. I just did it. I just continued to put myself out there, put 2 feet in, kept trying different things, learning as I went, capturing the information, taking it to the next level and proceeding from there. My life journey is a little bit like that. I'm now into my 6th business, and having gone from, I suppose, the Thai restaurants into the nightclub businesses, I then started at Kirby Marketing and then launched Anou Concept. Anou Concept started off as a promotions and incentives agency to Saab and a lot of the companies that were out there. We worked with Urban Land Authority, we worked with Shell, we worked with some really big companies and did Eastern Energy. We launched MP3 in Australia with Ice-T. So we did a lot of that work. The hospitality industry exposed me to the entertainment world as well, and all of the promoters that are currently in Australia today. At Anou Concept, I then had my first baby, and my baby came along, and I thought to myself, oh, okay, you know what? The services industry, very tiring, you've got a baby, you're trying to handle it all, and I think I'll go into the layette industry. Why don't I make baby clothes? Why don't I start to package this up for women and it'll be fantastic? Well, that was an epic fail. I lost everything I'd earned all through the years, and to a point where I got married and my husband said, in 3 months, you don't turn this around, you're going to stay home because I can afford to have you at home. And well, I wasn't going to have that. So, okay. And in like 4 months, I turned that business around. I went to Oshkosh and I said, I'm doing these layettes. Would you like them? And after persisting and being at their door, they went, actually, your cotton's really good. What you're doing is fantastic. We'll start ordering from you. So that business then created a turnaround. And a new concept at that time, because I'd lost all my money, I'd lost all my key staff. So it's like, okay, what do I do now? And at that same time, a friend from the entertainment industry needed somebody to pull out a red carpet and do location services, and went, why don't you call Anou? You know, she knows everybody in that space. I'm sure she can help you. And that started what we have today at Anou Concept. We currently look after most of the major films that come out, so we would do the film marketing for it. And you sort of do the red carpet and invite all the media. So that's the business that currently is in operation with clients such as Disney and Roadshow Films, and we are also doing sort of Qatar Airways, so that's a new concept. And yeah.
Yeah, so then that transition from hospitality and bridging that digital space, were those initial skill sets something that you just developed naturally over time, or did you have that from the education initially?
I think that was from the education initially, and just a will to succeed. You know, I believe that if you believe in yourself, the courage just comes. If you do the right thing in your business, money comes. So at the end of the day, you have to put your 2 feet forward to get an outcome. And I've always been that person, to a point that now, so with that clothing industry, we went from layettes and started doing school uniforms. And somebody approached us and said, oh, we're having some problem with our pants. Would you mind helping us with that? Well, I took that opportunity, and from there began the school uniform business, and hence now the corporate apparel business. So the school uniform business and a new concept split into two. The uniform business has been going now for about 10 years in parallel with a new concept. Recently, we have done some major acquisitions in the marketplace and have expanded that business 3 times the size of our current business. So it has been a really success story.
Mm-hmm. So you also mentioned about opportunities, and that's presenting itself. So what value do you place on seeking the opportunities and just saying yes to opportunities that come your way?
Opportunities is a very interesting question. And I say that if you put yourself out there, the opportunities come. People say you have to be at the right place at the right time. And I say, if you take the opportunity, the right place and the right time happens. If I sat at home and went, I'm not going to do this today, I wouldn't have met the person that said, can you help me with my pants? If I didn't put my 2 feet in and said, you know, I'm going to take every opportunity as it comes and just learn from it. Even if nothing comes from it, I've learned, I've engaged, I've met somebody that has actually helped me in my journey. So very much is about putting that effort in when you can say, you know, I don't think I can take it right now. So the opportunities for me has been very much about taking every chance that I can and converting them as they've come along in my life.
Yeah, and so from that large failure that you had, and obviously you had to let some staff go, what were the key learnings from that? What did you take into your next businesses that you thought, you know, that is the core thing that I've learned from this massive failure?
Keep a really keen eye on your business. Keep a keen eye on your cash flow. Make sure you're monitoring it. Make sure you actually look at it and always have something in your pipeline. And when you're young and you're starting up, you think, it'll come, it'll be okay. But the planning that you now need to put towards that and making sure that you have some discipline around it is the biggest learning that I think I took away from that.
Yeah, so how much of your time now is spent around the planning phase? So are you in the day-to-day operations? Do you have your head in that quite a lot? Or do you take a step back? Are you able to take a step back and be more strategic with your thinking?
I've put a sign on my door that says redundancy in progress, and that's mine. And I'm working very hard, and I'm focused really hard in making sure that I can make myself redundant so the really great people that I have can come through. The other thing that's been fantastic in a learning sense is hiring the right people for you. And there is hiring the right people that have the skills and have the space, but hiring the right people around you that have the skills, that are smarter than you, that can do the job better than you, but actually suit you as a person is really important, because we're all different. We all have our own ways of doing things. But finding that and understanding that has taken many years of learning, I think. Yeah.
And do you try to instill your values in these people, or is it something that presents itself naturally when you are hiring?
That is such an interesting question. My team virtually hire the next person. So we have a very, very strong culture in our business. The biggest comment that comes out of our business is there is no politics, and I run a team of 38 here and about 160 in Asia. So they always say, you know, like if it's in Asia, we teach them English. They will go out and say, this is the best company to work for. They play soccer with us on Saturdays. They come and teach English to us, you know, and that's an opportunity for them. Our team over here, it's all about growth. It's where you are, what can you do, what's the next step, how do you proceed to the next area. So I learnt that, I try and instill that, and I think it kind of works.
And then on the flip side, how do you celebrate the successes, obviously within that culture? Is there anything that you do when you guys are doing very well?
We go out to spook nights. We're just booking ourselves in to go out for Halloween as a group. We do a lot of activities as a group. We sit around, we have lunch, we ask each other what your superpower is. We do fun things like that. We engage with our team. So we celebrate success in that way. We share in it. We know that we're all a team and everyone has had to contribute to that success. And that team commitment is very strong in our business. So we do spend a lot of time with each other and just understanding everyone's needs and making sure that, you know, they can be the best player they are in that team.
Excellent. And you talked a little bit about obviously managing a team from overseas.
Yeah.
How is that? And do you spend a lot of time over in Asia?
Yep, we go through to Asia to our dedicated factories, so we ensure that our factories are RAP certified, which means that they're ethically sourced, and we then go over and spend one-on-one time with the team. We ensure that the factories we work with give the 4 weeks holiday like we have in Australia. We have a sick pay policy, we have a learning policy, we have a give back to the community policy, and it kind of works really well. They love it, and you know, our retention is fabulous. I think 10 years ago when we first started with the factory, probably 40% of the staff still exist today, and this is 13 years on.
And is that something that obviously you use? Obviously ethics is a big part of business now, so do you use that as something that can also sell your products as well as giving back to those communities in Asia?
Absolutely. We are in a position now of growth in the new apparel business that we've just purchased, and yes, we will be taking that to the market. We haven't really advertised that, but it absolutely is part of our ethos and our thinking.
Excellent. And what does the future hold for Anou Concept?
Anou Concept will continue to do PR, event, marketing, experiential. We have moved into the digital space a fair bit now, and really looking at how we market the business from an influencer standpoint. So that's where Anou Concept is moving towards. Film has changed. It's now with the oncoming of Netflix and Stan and the merger between Disney and Fox. There's a lot of changes in that marketplace. So with that, we've had to reinvent ourselves. And we find that that reinvention has been very well received, and it's strategically placed, and the influencers are helpful in that Anou Concept space. And in the clothing space, we feel that the industry is moving as well. We are looking at the digital innovations such as Fit Yourself, which I don't think exists. There's a lot of wastage in the corporate apparel industry. People buy uniforms, they buy it for a wide range of people, and there's so many sizes that don't fit. We're working on innovation where you can actually create a doppelganger of yourself on the screen, see what your sizes are, you can fit yourself so you don't actually waste any garments. So
I thought that was just for high-end fashion, like the Burberry stores have that kind of thing, but
no, it's
that
coming to Australia. Watch the space.
Yeah, excellent. What I've got from this talk as well is that you're very good at building relationships and networking. So is there any tips for the audience of how you can encourage them to build the best relationships?
Listen, enjoy the conversation, engage with people. Everybody has a story. I'm sure each and every one of you has a story. Learn and observe and apply. I think applying is important, and networking is about remembering the story, and when we engage with people to remember about them, because we all feel we have a, be kind, be caring. It helps. It's what helped me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, can we have a round of applause for Anou Khanijou of Anou Concept? Thank you very much, Anou.